My goal for Sydney Hyrox is to hit sub. Like, I'm putting in 110% effort every single day to show up on race day in the best shape I've ever been in my life to compete. Yeah! Welcome to episode 1 of the road to the Sydney Hyrox. On the 3rd of July, I'm going to be competing in the men's pro event, which I'm super excited for. I've never done a Hyrox event in Sydney. So yeah, this series is just going to be about documenting the whole prep. But I feel like I've kind of closed off the book that I was writing and put it away. And now I've opened a completely new book with the start of this prep. And I'm going to be very intentional and serious about the events that I have coming up. All of the kind of like hybrid events for the last 2 years. With a lot of the stuff, I haven't put a serious prep towards the event. I've kind of just kept the same push-pull leg sort of split, and then I've just added some specific training, whether it be for Hyrox or CrossFit, or any running events that I've done. But this Hyrox prep is going to be like 100%. I'll just get a new PB, but to absolutely like destroy my old time out of the park. So yeah, I'm super pumped and I'm super keen to bring you guys along with me. You might not even be into Hyrox, and that's totally fine. I get it. Hopefully you can take something, whether it be through entertainment or just getting to see somebody train for something and put effort into something that they have aspirations for. So basically, in this first episode, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be explaining my goal for the Sydney Hyrox, obviously. I'll be talking about the training that I'm going to be doing to achieve those goals. Talk about what I feel like is my biggest weakness when it comes to Hyrox. Talk about where I feel like I can improve the most to reduce the most amount of time. If you don't know what the Hyrox race is, basically it's 8 kilometers of running, and split up in between every kilometer of running, you've got a different sort of functional movement. So it starts with 1,000 meters on the ski erg, then there's a sled pull, a sled push, then I'm pretty sure it's burpee broad jumps, and then you get into a 1,000 meter row, farmer's carry, lunges, and then you finish off with 100 wall balls. Let's get into my goal for the Sydney Hyrox. So my previous personal best in the men's pro was in Brisbane in 2025. I got an hour, 21 minutes and 38 seconds. Overall, 159th and 19th in my age group. I haven't looked at that in ages. My last race was in Melbourne, and I actually did the open weights because there was no pro tickets available. And the last Hyrox event that I did actually caused a bit of drama.
It's the fuckwit influencers ramming their way into the scene.
Anyways, my last race was an open race and I got a 107.57. Obviously not the best in the world, but it's a big difference from my previous pro race. It was definitely a big difference from the first race that I ever did, which was a 139.51 pro race. Anything that could go wrong went wrong. That was tragic. But my goal for the Sydney Hyrox is to hit 65 minutes. If I don't hit it and I put everything into it, I'm going to be proud regardless. But if I do hit it and that's a score that I don't even think I can get, shit's probably going to bring me to tears, yeah? So let's do it. I'm not signing up to this event and just training a little bit for it. Like, I'm putting in 110% effort every single day to show up on race day in like peak form, the best shape I've ever been in my life, and to compete. Let's get into training and what that's going to look like. I train 7 days a week. I've always trained 7 days a week. That's just how I am. I love training. I know it's probably not fucking optimal and all that bullshit. I'm sure some people can relate. This whole Hyrox prep, I'm not just doing a push-pull legs and then adding some Hyrox training in. Yes, I'm training for 7 days a week, but I'm also prioritizing my recovery, which is something I've never done before. Like ice baths, I've just signed up to the concept again, so I can do ice baths Wednesday, Friday, and probably on the weekends too. I'm also going to get a massage on Sundays every week or every 2 weeks. I have dropped my strength training a lot. I've gone from push-pull legs every single day and just continuously rotating to once a week each. So it's going to be like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then I'm going to do like a full upper body sort of split on either Saturday, Sunday as well. Yeah, my strength work is going to decrease massively over these next 10 weeks. I'm still going to be doing some CrossFit training over the next month because I've got the Torian Pro. Alright, my apologies. I'm going to quickly interject. I've been editing this video for like the last few days, just like between work and training and everything else going on in life. I was just talking about Torian that I'm meant to be competing in a couple of weeks' time, and I'm not sure if I still will be competing, just because I literally got a message today from my teammate saying that he can't compete anymore, so he's had to pull out, sadly, which sucks. It's currently up in the air. Not sure if I'll be competing at Torium, but I'm going to be going up to Queensland regardless, because I had like a little idea to do like a Hyrox mini camp up in the Goldie before the event anyway. So I'm going up to Queensland one way or another. In like the big picture, my main goal is to compete at Torium Pro next year and to like qualify as an individual. I know that's going to take a lot of work, but it's always kind of been in my heart since I stopped playing footy to do so. Damn, you can't even see me at all. But yeah, this Hyrox prep is kind of like a big thing for me, and I think it's only going to help me in the future, like trying to make Torium Pro, because it's seeing what I can do with a certain amount of time training for one thing. My main goal at the moment is to get a sub 65 minute men's pro Hyrox. Like I said, I'm still going to be doing CrossFit training, but that is my main goal at the moment. So yeah, let's get to the rest of the video. I had to go train and do my half Hyrox simulation. I'm going to pull some clips from that workout and just talk about each station and where I feel like I can improve. So firstly, let's talk about the running. In my last event, I had a total of 33 minutes and 1 second of running, averaged a pace of 4 minutes, 7 seconds, which is actually pretty good. I didn't know it was that fast looking back at it. But I think what killed me was I had 8 minutes, 15 seconds in the rock zone. So basically you've got, think of it as an athletics track on the outside, which is where you run. There's a big in sort of like arch that you run into, and you run to your separate different movements and you do the movement and then you leave. The area on the inside of the athletics track is called the rock zone. For 8 minutes and 15 seconds, I was in the rock zone, and that's not including doing the exercise itself. So that's way too long for what I want it to be and for the goal that I have in mind. So I'm definitely going to need to work on that. The average run time being 4 minutes and 7 seconds is actually pretty good. My worst run was the 8th run, which was the one right before the wall balls. If I can remember correctly, I was cramping up pretty bad. Looking at my running, I want to obviously bring the rock zone time down like a lot. And then I want to try and move my average run pace being a 4:07 and try and bring that down to like a 3:50. I'd be really happy with. Running is like the most important piece of the Hyrox. It's something I'm going to do a lot of work on over the next few months. It's where I can get the most improvement on, especially if I lose a couple of kilos, and really focus on my speed work and my compromise running. On the ski erg, it took me 4 minutes and 26 seconds. I didn't realize I went that slow. That's like 30 seconds at least less. I could have taken off my time, because it only takes me, like, if I'm dying, it only takes me maximum 4 minutes to do 1,000 meters on the ski erg if you hold a 2 minute pace. I think what got in my head was I just didn't want my heart rate to go through the roof and to fuck me over for the rest of the race. Exciting for me, because I know for a fact I can cut off like 30 to 40 seconds of that first movement straight away. 4:26 is crazy. I don't know what was going on there. Now for the sleds. I got a 2:05 for the push and I got a 3:51 for the pull. Obviously this was at the open weight, but the sled pull is where I want to make up the most time. My sled pull numbers have never been good. 3:51. In all of the Hyrox events that I've done, the thing that I've least prepared for is the sled pull. I'm hoping to make a lot of improvements on my sled portion of the Hyrox event. Now for the burpee broad jump, which I think is my biggest weakness when it comes to the Hyrox. It's usually where like I hit this wall, whether it's down on the ground whilst I'm halfway through the burpees, or it's once I've finished the first lap and I've got to come back. I hit a wall and like I'm just fucked. Making this video right now has literally just put into my head that I need to start doing a lot more burpee broad jump work. Anyways, then it gets into the row. And again, seeing this, I got a 4:27, which again, like the ski erg, I can hold a 2 minute pace on the rower. Looking at this right now, I know for sure I can already cut off the 27 seconds. I've been doing a whole lot of rowing work. It is my least favorite like concept 2 machine. I absolutely hate the rower with a passion. Then we've got the sandbag lunge, which I got a 3:16, which isn't too bad. I think that was my best movement out of the whole thing. The sandbag lunge and the wall balls were both my strongest functional movements out of all 8 stations. 3:16 on the sandbag lunge, and I got a 3:30 on the wall balls. In this event, I actually did all 100 wall balls unbroken, which I was pretty happy about. That's my full breakdown of my most recent Hyrox event in Melbourne. Yeah, super excited to, like I said, turn this new chapter in my life. This is me setting a new standard for myself. I'm going to make my way over to World Gym at Beresfield now. I've got my power pre-workout from Switch Nutrition. Honestly, Switch is going to be a big game changer for me during this prep. First time I used a Switch product was during my Hyrox in Melbourne. I never knew what carb loading was or sodium loading or anything like that. And I actually forgot my pre-workout, so I just went to a supplement store and they had Switch's hydrate supplement. And then with that and some ChatGPT, I made a little day before plan. I just smashed heaps of the hydrate supplement, which is an electrolyte and sodium blend. You can use code Logan to save yourself some money. I just want you to be using products that give you the ability to perform your best, and that's exactly what Switch Nutrition does. Without further ado, I'm going to head to the gym and go and train now. Again, welcome to my series, Road to the Sydney Hyrox. Like and subscribe, it really helps me out a lot. I'd love to know if you're doing the Sydney Hyrox or if you're doing any Hyrox around the world, or if you're training for anything in particular as well. Next time you see me, I will be finished with my session, so I'll see you then. All right, so we're just weighed in at 89 kilos, which means I've dropped 3 kilos since coming back from America. We just finished up with our workout. We finished with a time of 31:27 for the half Hyrox sim. I was doing 400 meter intervals for the running, just because I was using the assault runner, which I think is significantly harder than like running just on its own. But no, that went really well. Super pumped about this because like I feel like I've half-assed a lot of things that I've done in the last 2 years, and I'm really excited to see what 110% of my drive, my focus, and like my effort into one thing, what I can do with that. Sometimes you just got to show up and fucking rip in. Duty calls.
Days, 100 nights, you wanna spend and come and do something. Say with the fives, we checked in, they ain't know none. We was on the dub with big cuz, we got the block turned. Block full of hoes, they shaking ass till they back hurt. Car full of poles, got plenty shots, but we ain't running out. Thought we was done, but like a bitch,
10 weeks out.